Every day you and I get bombarded with negative news. Just like the body becomes what we eat, the mind becomes what we're putting in. It is important to listen to stories that not only gives you hope, but also inspires you and uplifts you. In this podcast, we're interviewing experts who will break down the solutions to the world's most pressing problems. And I promise you, if you listen to this podcast, you will not only stay informed, but you will also feel more energy in your life. Welcome to Great.com Talks with. Great.com is a philanthropic project where we're donating 100% of our profit towards the most effective cause areas like protecting the rainforest, funding climate change technology. And the best thing that you can do listening to this right now to help us in that mission would be to just subscribe to this channel. And also then you will get updates on positive news in the world. And the topic of today is protecting wild animals. And to understand more about this, we have invited Panos Stefano from Arcturos. So I'm going to say welcome, Panos, to this interview.
Thank you very much.
Panos, help us describe the situation that you see that wild animals are experiencing right now. What threats are they facing?
If we are to talk about wildlife in Greece, what we have seen as Arcturos is that mostly animals are threatened by human beings, either directly or indirectly. So most of the threats are man-made, and this is what we as an organization are trying to solve.
Right, Arcturos are based in Greece, and so from your experience being in Greece, you're saying that most of the threats are man-made. Could you help us clarify what does that mean?
Yes, we just for context to say that we mostly we will be discussing about bears and wolves. This is what I will be. I mean when we will say wildlife, because this is where the focus of our work is. So. In Greece, what we see is that bears and the wolves can be killed directly, often shot, which is illegal, and this is one of the most profound direct threats that those wild animals face in Greece. But we also see other threats such as poison baits, which often lead to multiple deaths. We also see traps, which is also an illegal means to stop or protect a farm or whatever. But we have seen illegal traps being used, and this causes injuries. They can be like serious injury, which can mean that a bear or a wolf will not be able to live in the wild anymore, or even be killed, because when an animal is caught in a trap, it's a very stressful situation. It can even harm itself when it's trying to escape, or even the trap itself could cause a serious injury. And of course, we have seen mostly in the past that development and human actions can diminish or put in danger the natural habitat of bears and wolves, and this is an indirect threat, because when the forest is not viable for the animals, or when the highways are dangerous for the animals and they can cross in, which means that they risk their life by crossing it. These are things that can lead to serious population deficits for those animals, and in the past, those were really serious threats. It's not anymore, thanks to the work that Arcturos has done all these years.
Arcturos, if I understand correct, you've been around since 1992, almost 30 years now. And could you tell us a little bit about what have changed since the work you started to do? Have we seen any improvement for these animals?
Yes, Arcturus has done some significant work, and has concrete results to showcase. First of all, we should say that when Arcturus was founded back in 1992, it was quite common to see dancing bears in Greece, in fairs and other occasions. This is actually the reason why Arcturus was founded. It was exactly this thing that we wanted to stop, and that was the reason that Arcturus was created. Of course, it was the foundation or the work. It was broader, but this was what led to the need, or said, oh, we need to do something for the bears. So within a few years, Arcturus managed to create a sanctuary. It's a big park, we can say. It's a big area where back then only bears that were dancing bears would be confiscated, because that was illegal, and they were confiscated, and then they were transferred to this big forest area, which is enclosed, because we are talking about animals that cannot live in the wild. So within a very short period, within only a few years, there were no more dancing bears in Greece, and that was the first major success, because we helped raise awareness to the people that that wild animals like bears shouldn't be captivated, and of course they shouldn't be used as dancing bears, which was really bad practice and painful for the animals. Of course, as the years passed by and many more visitors came to the sanctuary to visit and learn more for our work and why we need to protect the bears, Arcturus created a sanctuary for wolves, because there were also some captivated wolves in Greece. So this helped solve the problem of captivation for bears and the wolves in Greece. Other major results that we have managed to showcase is the ban in use of any kind of animals in circuses, and that was also a major win, because we were also, like, when I grew up, it was quite common to see a circus with animals. And when we're talking about animals, it could be even elephants, like big animals that were used in circuses. And of course, the training, if I may call it that way, was more than painful for those animals, in order to do their kind of show. So Greece, since 2012, is the first European country and the second in the world that no animals are allowed to be used in circuses.
It's fantastic. The same when I grew up, I remember animals was just so associated with circuses. So you're saying that thanks to Arcturus kind of work, bears would not have to be forced to dance out in the streets, and animals would not have to be forced to perform in circuses. That's two of the contributions so far. Thank you. That helps to paint the picture. So tell us more about the strategies that you see right now what are important right now to focus on? How do we help bears and wolves, for example?
So back in the 90s, when Arcturos was founded, it was crucial not only to protect those dancing bears, because the big image is the wild population, the free bears that live in the wild. Those are the ones that we had to protect. And to be honest, this is where our focus works. So this is what we target. We need to have concrete populations for bears and wolves in order to protect the environment. So back then, Greece had something like around 200 bears that lived in the wild. Now, a few decades later, we can talk about 500 bears that live in Greece, and this is a major improvement, given that the reproduction rates in bears is not very quick, and because bears tend to cubs tend to live with their mother for a couple of years at least, and the female bear won't give birth for more than 4 times during her lifetime. So this is like a very slow birth rate. So we really needed to create a safe environment for those animals in order to sustain the population and help it grow bigger in safer figures. So at the moment, we can say that the prospects for the populations, for the bear population in Greece, is quite optimistic. And at the moment, we are finalizing the action plan for the next years, which the action plan would basically be what the Greek state would do with bears, how they will manage the population. And the focus at the moment should be at creating the circumstances and the conditions so that there's a coexistence with the population, with human beings, because this is the important thing. Like, we need to make sure that bears exist and they can live along with humans. Of course, not of course always as free and wild animals, but there are the conditions to respect their space, to respect their habitat, and protect those animals, and have also our activities and growing farmland, or having or the beekeepers, or even the shepherds that they need to have their flocks. These are all activities that can be compatible with wildlife.
It really helps to see the progression from 200 beers to now 500s. That paints the picture of the yeah. And could you say what's, if you do the same background for wolves, what's the numbers, and how has the progression seen look like for wolves?
For wolves, we don't have so concrete numbers, or to at least to compare, but the latest estimate is around 500 wolves, 700 wolves that live in Greece.
And would you say that, are you, it sounded like you're optimistic for the bear situation. Are you optimistic about the wolves right now, or would
yes, we can be optimistic for the wolves too, but of course what we have seen and what we know, it's almost in everything. It's very easy to destroy and go back than advance and protect the population. So it can take many years to create a safe environment, but it can take only like a very, very short time, and to go back and create an unsafe environment for those animals. So this is something that we really need to be aware and be on alert all time, so that we don't, that their habitats are not diminished, they are not threatened, and on the other hand, we need to create robust habitats for those animals, so that they stay there and they won't feel the need to go closer to human settlements or small villages in order to find food, because this is not where they should be, and this is where actually they are mostly threatened.
And can we impact, create those circumstances? Is that possible?
Things are changing, which means that we see patterns of bears and the wolves getting more used to human presence. So we have seen that bears and the wolves might move and might not live, but visit areas with where human beings live, or they have their activity. They might do this more often than they did in the past, but this is mostly because they're adapting to their needs, they're adapting to the situation and to everyday life. So when they feel, or when they see humans more often, they might feel more comfortable visiting their place, especially if they can find food easily. So they might feel that they can do it more frequently, but this should not be the rule. So this is a challenge for us, but we shouldn't, on the other hand, expect that we will never see the bears. It's something that is happening, so we need to deal with it and find a way to protect both animals and humans, of course, because these are wild animals that we're talking about, so they're not pets. So when they are approaching to human settlements, this could have consequences for both, and we need to make sure that this won't be lethal.
We're running towards the end here, and I would like to ask you, people could go into arcturos.gr, Greece. That's a website. What would you say, what do you want people to do after hearing this interview, and are you looking for any kind of support?
We would like people to get to know our work, and we would like them to support us financially, because 2020 has been like a really tough year for Arcturos, of course, for many people too, but the lockdown meant that our sanctuary, our main source of income, was closed for most of the year. So this meant like less than half of the visitors that we got in 2019. So we would like people to give us their support. If this is done in a donation, this would be great, and this is actually where and how we would like mostly people to help us with. But of course, we can also get help from volunteers, or we could also get great support by people visiting our sanctuaries, our environmental center, and getting to know more for our work.
Last question. Is there anything extra important that you would like for more people to understand, that you want to empathize here?
Maybe a message, or maybe to let them know that there are bears in Greece, which is something that I find that not many people outside of Greece are aware of, and that Arcturos has been doing a significant work that with much respect to the animals and to their nature, to their wild nature, and we would really like people to get involved, know our work, meet us, and visit us, and also help us get better.
Panos, thank you very much for taking time to clarify the situations for our wild animals, but specifically wolves and bears.
Thank you very, very much.